The secret 8,000-year-old forbidden wealth hack. How to turn pennies into millions while you sleep. In the scorching, dust-choked heart of the Babylonian marketplace, where the intoxicating scent of exotic spices mingles with the pungent aroma of livestock, we find Bansir the chariot builder sitting dejectedly upon a low stone wall, his hands calloused and stained by a lifetime of grueling labor that has yielded him nothing but a perpetual emptiness in his copper-colored purse. He gazes longingly at the opulent chariots of the wealthy elite as they thunder past, their golden ornaments reflecting the unforgiving Mesopotamian sun, while his friend Kabi, the musician, approaches with a silent realization that their shared struggle is not a result of cosmic bad luck, but a fundamental ignorance of the hidden laws that govern the flow of gold through the veins of their great city. They decide in this moment of profound desperation to seek the counsel of the legendary Arkad, the man whose wealth is rumored to be as vast as the Euphrates itself, hoping to uncover the forbidden secrets that transform a mere laborer into a titan of industry and financial sovereignty. The camera pans across the staggering architectural majesty of the Ishtar Gate, its deep blue glazed bricks shimmering like a mirage against the desert horizon, as Bansir and Kabi navigate the crowded streets toward the palace-like estate of the richest man in the world. As they approach the massive cedar doors, the sheer scale of Arkad's success becomes palpable, manifesting in the intricate carvings and the silent, disciplined efficiency of his many servants who move with a sense of purpose that the commoners lack. Inside, the air is cooled by sophisticated ventilation and scented with expensive frankincense, creating an atmosphere of intellectual weight and historical significance that suggests the knowledge they are about to receive is more valuable than the gold it produces. Arkad sits upon a raised dais, his presence commanding yet unexpectedly humble, ready to distill decades of financial mastery into a series of lessons that will dismantle the poverty mindset of his childhood friends and replace it with the ironclad logic of accumulation. Arkad leans forward, his eyes gleaming with a sharp intelligence that has been honed by thousands of transactions, and begins to recount his own humble beginnings as a lowly scribe struggling to survive on a meager pittance in the halls of the records office. He describes the pivotal moment when he met the wealthy moneylender Algamish, a man whose presence radiated the kind of quiet power that only absolute financial independence can provide, and the grueling deal they struck for the secret of wealth. Algamish revealed to the young Arkad that the golden path to riches is not paved with complex schemes or high-stakes gambling, but with the simple, unwavering discipline of paying oneself first before any other creditor or merchant can lay claim to one's hard-earned wages. This revelation serves as the foundation for the entire Babylonian system, a philosophy that prioritizes the long-term growth of the individual over the short-term gratification of the consumerist society that surrounds them. The first great cure for a lean purse is introduced with a visual metaphor of a grain harvest, where Arkad explains that for every 10 coins placed within a bag, only 9 should ever be taken out for use in the world. This 10% rule is presented not as a sacrifice, but as a mandatory seed that must be planted in the fertile soil of one's own future, allowing the magic of compounding growth to take root in the shadows of the subconscious. Bansir and Kabi look at their own empty hands as Arkad illustrates how even the smallest amount of gold, when consistently set aside and protected from the temptation of frivolous spending, begins to take on a life of its own and grows into a protective canopy of security. The cinematic lighting shifts to show a small golden sprout growing into a massive cedar tree, representing the exponential power of a single coin that is allowed to remain in the possession of its rightful owner rather than being traded for temporary comforts. Moving to the second cure, Arkad addresses the common fallacy that one's expenses will always rise to meet their income, a phenomenon that traps even the most skilled craftsmen in a cycle of perpetual debt and anxiety. He instructs his students to meticulously list every potential expenditure upon a clay tablet, scrutinizing each one with the cold eye of a grand vizier, and to ruthlessly cross out any item that does not satisfy a fundamental necessity or contribute to a meaningful life purpose. By distinguishing between true needs and the seductive whispers of passing desires, the individual gains the power to control their financial destiny, and ensures that their hard-earned wealth is not leaked through 1,000 tiny holes in their budget. The scene depicts a glowing tablet where unnecessary luxuries fade away, leaving only the structural pillars of a well-ordered and sustainable lifestyle that honors the value of the labor that created the wealth in the first place. The third secret focuses on making one's gold multiply, and the screen transforms into a vibrant animation of golden coins taking on human characteristics, representing the children and grandchildren of the original investment who worked tirelessly for their master. Arcad explains that gold is a willing slave that thrives under the care of a wise owner, and its true power is realized when it is put out to usury or invested in profitable enterprises that generate a continuous stream of passive income. He warns that a pile of gold sitting idle is a wasted opportunity, but gold that is wisely put to work becomes a self-sustaining engine of prosperity that can support a man and his family for generations to come. The visual shifts from a static pile of coins to a flowing river of liquid gold that branches out to irrigate a vast landscape of farms, shops, and shipping vessels, symbolizing the diverse and interconnected nature of a truly robust investment portfolio. In the fourth lesson, the atmosphere grows more somber as Arcad discusses the vital importance of guarding one's treasures from loss, highlighting the predatory nature of scams and the danger of following the advice of those who lack expertise. He recounts the tragic story of his own early failure, where he entrusted his savings to a brickmaker who claimed he could buy rare jewels in a distant land, only to be swindled by a clever fraudster who sold the man worthless glass instead. This scene serves as a stark warning to the audience to only seek financial counsel from those whose own success is proven and whose knowledge is specific to the field of investment being considered. The cinematic imagery shows a majestic treasure chest being locked with a massive, intricate key, representing the protective barrier of wisdom and due diligence that every investor must build around their capital to survive the inevitable storms of the market. The fifth cure emphasizes the psychological and financial necessity of owning one's own dwelling, as Arcad describes the profound shift in a man's spirit when he eats from his own fruit trees and looks upon a home that is truly his own. He argues that paying rent to a landlord is a perpetual drain on one's resources that yields no long-term equity, whereas a mortgage paid toward ownership eventually frees up a significant portion of income for further investment. The visuals depict a humble but beautiful Babylonian home, glowing with the warmth of a hearth fire and surrounded by a lush garden, symbolizing the stability and pride that comes from having a permanent stake in the land. This sense of belonging and ownership provides the emotional foundation necessary to pursue even greater heights of wealth, as the fear of displacement is replaced by the confidence of a man who stands upon his own territory. As the sun begins to set over the majestic ziggurats of Babylon, Arcad speaks of the sixth cure, which is the preparation for a future income that will sustain a man during the inevitable decline of his physical strength and the onset of old age. He urges his listeners to look forward into the shadows of the future and to ensure that their investments are structured to provide a reliable pension for themselves and a legacy of protection for their families after they have passed into the afterlife. This lesson is portrayed with a moving sequence showing an elderly man sitting in peace under the shade of a palm tree, his needs fully met by the wise decisions of his younger self, while his grandchildren play safely nearby, shielded from the harsh realities of poverty. The script emphasizes that the greatest gift a person can give to their future self is the foresight to plant the seeds of security today, ensuring that the winter of life is spent in comfort and dignity rather than in desperate struggle. The final cure for a lean purse is the most profound of all, the relentless increase of one's ability to earn through the acquisition of new skills, knowledge, and wisdom. Arcad explains that the mind is the ultimate asset and that a man who invests in his own education and refinement will always find ways to create value and attract wealth, regardless of the economic climate. He encourages Bansir and Kabi to become masters of their crafts, to study the methods of those who are more successful, and to never stop seeking the truth about how the world functions. The visual shows a montage of various professionals, blacksmiths, weavers, and merchants, all perfecting their techniques and using better tools, illustrating that the path to riches is inextricably linked to the path of personal excellence, and the expansion of one's own internal capacity. The scene concludes with a bright, ethereal light emanating from a scholar's scroll, representing the transformative power of knowledge to break the chains of poverty. Arkad then transitions to the 5 laws of gold, which are the spiritual and practical rules that dictate how wealth is attracted or repelled by the human soul, written upon a golden tablet for all to see. He explains that gold comes gladly and in increasing quantity to any man who puts by no less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family. However, the laws also state that gold flees from the man who invested in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep. The cinematic style becomes epic and mythological, with the golden laws appearing in the clouds above the city, as Arkad warns that those who seek impossible gains or follow the seductive call of tricksters will find their wealth vanishing like smoke in a desert wind. This segment reinforces the idea that financial success is a moral and intellectual discipline that requires adherence to universal truths that have stood the test of time. The conversation shifts to the concept of luck, and Arkad dispels the myth that the goddess of luck is a fickle deity who bestows wealth upon the lazy or the undeserving through games of chance. He argues that true luck is actually the byproduct of opportunity meeting preparation, and that the person who is most consistently lucky is the one who has worked the hardest to position themselves where opportunity is likely to strike. He recounts stories of men who missed life-changing deals because they hesitated or lacked the capital to act, proving that luck is a guest who only dines at the table of the industrious and the decisive. The visuals show a merchant making a swift, confident decision to buy a cargo of goods just as a storm clears, while a hesitant rival watches from the sidelines, illustrating that the bold and the prepared are the true masters of their own fortune. The narrative takes a gritty turn as it explores the story of Dabisir, the camel trader who found himself trapped in the soul-crushing despair of debt and slavery in a foreign land. Through a series of intense flashbacks, we see Dabisir's struggle to reclaim his dignity and his freedom by applying the very principles Arkad has been teaching, even when he had nothing but his own resolve and a few copper coins. He developed a plan to pay back his creditors systematically while still saving a portion for himself, proving that the way to freedom is always open to the man who has the soul of a free man rather than the heart of a slave. This scene is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the practical efficacy of the Babylonian system, showing that no matter how deep the hole of debt may be, there is a ladder of logic and discipline that can lead anyone back into the light of prosperity. We move forward in time to a modern archaeological dig site where a group of researchers discovers the ancient clay tablets of Babylon, realizing that the financial wisdom of the past is perfectly applicable to the complexities of the 21st century. The script draws a direct parallel between the ancient gold coins and modern digital assets, stocks, and real estate, showing that while the medium of exchange may change, the fundamental laws of human nature and economics remain eternal. The researchers are shown applying the Babylonian cures to their own lives, experiencing the same transformation from anxiety to abundance that Bansir and Kabi experienced thousands of years ago. This bridge between eras reinforces the viral nature of the secret, suggesting that the viewer holds in their hands a master key that has unlocked the gates of wealth for every civilization in human history. In the grand finale, the camera soars high above the reconstructed city of Babylon at the height of its glory, the hanging gardens lush and vibrant, the canals flowing with life-giving water, and the markets buzzing with the energy of 1,000 successful enterprises. Arkad's voice echoes over the cityscape, reminding the audience that the wealth of a nation is simply the sum of the wealth of its individual citizens, and that by mastering these secrets, each person contributes to the prosperity of the whole world. The final image is a blindingly bright golden coin that fills the screen, which then dissolves into the eyes of the viewer, leaving them with the profound realization that the power to become the richest person in their own world lies within their own hands and their own will. The cinematic journey concludes with a call to action that resonates with the weight of 8,000 years of history, urging the audience to start fattening their purses today and to never again settle for a life of scarcity.